I solve problems in my sleep, and I mean that in the most literal way possible. I have tons of problems or tons of different things that I'm running into on a day-to-day basis, and after I take a good night rest, I come back the next day stronger than ever with a fresh perspective, and I solve all those problems almost 100% of the time. And I'm gonna break down exactly why this happens. Maybe I'll even get into the science of it. Obviously, I don't have a science background, computer science, that's not really science.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
But yeah, let's get started. So when I'm trying to solve a complicated problem, I often get tunnel vision. And what tunnel vision basically means is your view and your thought process narrows down into a tunnel. So that's why you only see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can't see anything else around you.
This isn't your average everyday darkness. This is advanced darkness.
And the issue with that is oftentimes the problem at hand might be somewhere completely different than where you're operating in. So if you're editing in some component and that component's not working as intended, you are inclined to search that entire component out and try to figure out what's wrong. But that might not be the right place. So you might not be looking in the right place. And also, you might not be thinking about the big picture. So you might be making decisions that are short-sighted, that are immediate, that are very short-term, but it's not actually moving the needle for your actual long-term problem. So you're not thinking long-term. And you're over-engineering problems that might not even be a problem. Because you're constantly in that environment, in that context, you can't think about anything else. And you can't even operate and realize that the thing you're solving may not even be a problem. It may not even be worth looking into.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
I've seen people come up with a million edge cases, a million edge statements that they don't need to account for in software engineering. And this is true for pretty much any other industry. Here are a couple things outside of sleeping, because sleeping is not always going to be an option.
I don't sleep.
That can help you solve these issues really quickly. So sometimes walking away from the issue at hand for a little while helps tremendously.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
Something as simple as just going on a 5-minute walk. Literally, just take a 5-minute walk, go get a cup of coffee. You'll see oftentimes people are in front of the coolers, getting a glass of water, getting a cup of coffee, and then they come back. And that is so effective in solving problems because it pulls you out of that context, out of that environment, and then it helps your brain decompress. It's not really gonna fully decompress, but it'll decompress enough to then help you think at a broader level or at a much higher level. So then you can start conceptualizing other more creative solutions that might be better fit for your problem. This allows your mind to escape the tunnel vision and think more holistically. Sometimes even getting a second pair of eyes will help you get a broader perspective and find a solution faster. So let's say you're in the problem, you're getting tunnel vision. That doesn't necessarily mean people around you are. So getting them to pair program with you or come and take a look at the solution or problem that you're currently facing and the solution you're coming up with to solve it is actually quite valuable. It helps them decipher it, helps them understand the thing you're trying to solve, and they will give you a completely different perspective. Whether that perspective is right or not, or it depends on the situation and depends on the person, but you should be smart enough to dictate whether their solution is right or not.
I'm so sick of being smarter than everyone else.
At the end of the day, your problem isn't that you're unintelligent. Your problem isn't that you don't know how to come up with a solution. It's because you're tunnel visioned and you're only thinking about a small set of things. A second pair of eyes will give you a different perspective and make your solutions more creative. But one thing that has come in clutch time and time again in solving problems, in writing exams, in building projects, finishing assignments, literally all of the above. Going to sleep right after tackling a complex issue. During your sleep, your brain decompresses all your thoughts for the day, and you're subconsciously still thinking about it while sleeping. When you later wake up, you have a completely fresh perspective, but you still retain the memories of the previous day in your long-term memory. You're able to better visualize the problems at hand simply because the information has been registered in your long-term memory, and your short-term memory can now be accessed without over-occupying it with information.
As
establish a security code for access to all functions previously transferred to bridge.
What that means is you basically have free short-term memory. Your long-term memory has the enough context that you need to operate on the problem. And then your short-term memory can now retain more information and you can absorb a lot more different ideas and operate at a much better and more efficient level.
Come on, think.
So all that is to say, oftentimes solving problems, especially technical, very complicated problems, it over-occupies the short-term memory. You're basically operating at very high capacity. And that's hard to solve problems with because you're getting anxious, your legs are shaking, your heart rate's going up, and also at the same time you're like thinking about 50 million things. Rather, those 50 million things can then get registered in your long-term memory, and long-term memory can be accessed much better and much more efficiently. I don't know, honestly, like, this is not entirely scientific. I've read some books on this. I've watched a lot of Andrew Huberman and a few other YouTubers, so I don't quote me on this. Fact check it yourself.
You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
But what I can tell you is sleeping is a fact, will always help you and always be a good solution to your problems. No, don't take that literally.
What is wrong with you?
Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.